Okay. Good evening. It is April 5th, 2013, day 5 of the 90-day well body challenge. Um, Hi. Uh, so today was an oddly just hectic day because I started off this morning and I was so excited. I had got up early enough to make enough time to do this before my day started so that everything would be all in place, and this would be the link to this will be in people's inboxes by 8. And my daughter walks up to me and she says, "Mommy, you remember you're supposed to go on a field trip with us?" And I was like, "No." But yeah, so it was a day filled with activity and small people and a good time though. So in the last newsletter, the last email newsletter, we discussed that the next topics up for the cast would be clean eating. What else? Clean eating. Working out on raw vegetarian or vegan diets, and how is it different, and how can you make it work, and also how to boost your energy naturally. So that's what today is about here. So here we go. And as per request from my son, he believes that there should be some type of soundtrack because he likes listening to me apparently, but he's not sure if other people do. So he said that I was looking bored the last time I did this, so I should play music to keep from being bored. So I'll play music. Okay, so as far as it goes for clean eating, I forgot I was supposed to monitor the thing. Anyway, so I'm not good at it yet. So like, don't sue me, don't kill me. So anyway, as far as clean eating is concerned, there aren't really any fitness goals that you can achieve without it. If you're going to eat crap, you can't expect that that the goals that you have, I want to lose so many pounds by this amount of time, you can't expect any of that to happen, because of course you cannot get healthy without eating healthy. What we put in our bodies determines the general and overall health. You can exercise all day, which is sometimes a practice of people with anorexia and certain things like that. You can exercise all day, but if you're going to counteract that with like a big Buford burger, you're not going to get anywhere. That's just how it goes, because food is the key to good health. So if you eat garbage, your body is going to tell everybody that you eat garbage. You're going to see it around your waist. You're going to see it dangling from the back of your arms. It's going to slow you down when you're running for the bus. Everybody's going to know that at some point you've been eating garbage, pretty much. So if you eat whole, fresh, and healthy food, your body, your skin, your soul, you do feel better. You feel like you're glowing. You can feel yourself glowing. You can see it in your skin. Not to mention your energy levels just soar. So the 3 basic ways that most people go about eating clean. Some people just go through what they buy from the market, and they make sure that there are no chemicals and stuff like that. They're not really worried about weight loss, just general health. They don't eat processed food, and most of them only eat when they're hungry, or when they need extra fuel for an activity, or they might just go ahead and eat clean but 3 times a day. Excuse me. The most popular method is, and I follow this to some sort of I guess it's a methodology, and I think I fall into a lot of the categories. So the second method, people eat a lot of plants, or eat things as close to straight from nature as possible, or even raw, to stay away from anything that humans have altered. If they eat meat, they eat whole, grass-fed, straight from the butcher. No pre-packaged meat, no pre-ground meat. I don't even want to begin to tell you what's in ground turkey. I'm serious. Seriously. Pre-packaged ground turkey. Man. So if you're going to have ground turkey, if you're eating meat and you're going to have ground turkey, please pick out your piece of meat and watch the butcher ground it in front of you, please. Or grind it, excuse me. Don't buy a prepackaged ground turkey. I'm sure other ground meats are the same. But I didn't watch a documentary to show me what they put in it. If anybody's listening very closely, you probably can hear my children, who never fails. They always have something that they need to tell each other. Whenever I'm recording a class, whenever I'm making a video, any type of thing, they always have something that they need to talk about, and they need to talk about close to where I am. But that's children. The people enjoy grains that are still complete and haven't been turned into glue. So for the most part, like, for example, the wheat bread that they have at, I don't know where everybody lives, wheat bread that they have at Save-A-Lot is not actually any different from white bread. It's just brown, because they've stripped everything else out. It's got some wheat flour in it. Most of it is white. And they put these little, the hulls of, or the husks of, the wheat grains in it, so it looks like it has little whole grains in it. It's not really wheat bread. So they stick to brown rice, whole grain wheats, or safely sprouted wheats. You got to be very careful with sprouted anything, sprouted grains, sprouted legumes, and that type of thing, because and sprouts period, because they carry a certain amount of risk for hepatitis A, and I can say from experience, when I was nursing my oldest child, I still got cravings that usually still come from, that you get when you're pregnant. And I still got cravings, but my cravings were whole, because it's a part of, gestational genetics. His father was, raw food, that sort of thing. I ate quite well. And so I used to crave for whole foods, and it would be just my body telling me like I'm missing a mineral or something, and I would crave for extra whole foods. So I had this thing for alfalfa sprouts, and I used to make, these sandwiches that had, fresh veggies on them and all that stuff. And instead of mayonnaise, I would sprinkle alfalfa sprouts on the top of my sandwich. And I used to go to the market and get these little baskets that were filled with alfalfa sprouts, closed up neatly in like cellophane or whatever, and sold that way. And I would bring them home, rinse them off, and then just dip in there and drop a little bunch of it on my sandwich. I had done that for about 3 months until I couldn't stop bleeding. I couldn't stop bleeding. I had totally lost my appetite. My skin was getting pale, and I'm not a light skin person. My skin was getting pale, like gray, zombie ashy, and I was dizzy when I stood up, and I couldn't understand it. And I went to the hospital, and at first they couldn't find anything. And I overheard a nurse calling me a drama queen because I was about to pass out into the ground. And the second time, it was it. Like I had to be rushed to the hospital, and they found out that I had hepatitis A, and I found out that it was the sprouts that I was putting on my sandwich. And the follow-up doctor had actually asked us to get some of the sprouts and bring them to him. And the whole lot of the sprouts in the market were just contaminated. So you have to be very careful that stuff is clean. If you're going to sprout and you sprout at home, that's very sanitary. So study up on sprouting. I don't want to hang on to that too long, but study up on sprouting. Make sure that if you're having sprouts, that you're very, very careful. So next is they read labels, because sometimes on these packages they have all the bright sparkly words that say whole grain, 100% this, 100% that, and this is why it's good for you because it has 55% fiber, and super poops on Sunday. So they say all that, and then you turn it on the back to read the ingredients, and white flour is right there second after whole wheat flour. Anybody that knows, they already know, the higher up on the list, the closer to the first item on the list, it determines how much of an ingredient there actually is. So say you have, I don't know, some kind of sauce or whatever, and the first ingredient is tomatoes, then the sauce has a tomato base. If the very last ingredient is basil, then it's probably just a small, minute amount of basil. So if you go by that hierarchy, you can tell just about how much. And the first, second, and third items could be equal parts. So it could be equal parts wheat flour and equal parts white flour. So you have to be very careful when you're reading the labels. Eat stuff with less ingredients in them. So don't buy foods that have, or try not to, I don't want to say don't, try not to buy foods that have more than 3 or 6 ingredients inside of a product in a list. Just about anything that you can buy, if you're going to buy it prepackaged, about 3 to 6 ingredients pretty much sums it up. Make sure you can recognize all the ingredients, and don't fall for those mystery words that come up on bottles and cans and different things, like spices, and that's all it says. Like it tells you everything else: tomatoes, onions, spices. Like okay. If it's really important enough to you to use that item, or if you find out that they've been using it in school for your children's meals or something like that, and it's really important to you to find out about those items, you can call the company up and ask them, what the hell you mean spices? If you don't hear them say any true herbs and spices, then hang up. Don't hang up. But just don't use it. And something that my mom always says: if you cannot pronounce it, you probably shouldn't eat it. So that should be a rule of thumb, something to live by. Excuse me. I'm digging into stuff. I got strawberries, and of course I ended up having to do this at dinner time. Eat. And this is a lot of people's philosophy. I follow this philosophy. Eat 5 to 6 meals a day. It seems like a lot, but remember that you're probably just grazing.